Hey there, it is Brittany, and I am back today with a couple tutorials. We're going to make some earrings and at least one bracelet using Jesse James beads, and I'm actually going to be using this Color Trends mix, which is awesome. It's called Gatsby. It's black and gold and silver. I really like this one. And then we're also going to be using some Dress It Up buttons, and I have a couple different packs of buttons, but I actually got these last year around Halloween, and I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with that, and then I never did anything. I kind of put it to the side, but this year they came out with a ton of really cool Halloween mixes and some more Dress It Up shop buttons. So I thought we're going to make a pair of earrings using these buttons and a bracelet. So actually, we're going to make two pairs of earrings. The bracelet is also going to feature one of these buttons, which also come from in singles on their website. This one is called Spiral Hill, so you can get 3 pieces. And then this pack is Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas pack. So we're going to use that, the Color Trends, and then we're going to get an assist from all three of the mixes, the Halloween mixes. And I'm just super excited. I'm all about Halloween in October, and yeah, I'm just ready to make some jewelry. But first, we're gonna take the Jack and Sally buttons out of that mix, and we're going to take, I had 2 sets of these. We're going to take both of the dogs. And I can't remember what the name of the dog was. I feel awful that I don't remember. But we'll take both of the dogs, and we're just going to take some E6000 or whatever glue you prefer, and we're going to glue on some jump rings to the back. So I'm just going to show you how to do it on one, and then you could just repeat it with all of them. So I just have a blank piece of paper, my E6000. Just going to blurt out some glue onto here. You don't need much, it goes a long way. And I usually grab a toothpick, or this is just a broken off piece of an eye pin or a head pin. And then we'll grab a small jump ring. I'm using black today just because we're making Halloween stuff, but whatever jump ring you have is perfect. All I'll do is grab some of that glue, and like I said, a little does go a long way here, onto my applicator, whatever you're using, and I'm just going to put it right there on the back of Jack's head. Okay. And you can always clean this up later. However, it is easier to work clean and try and clean it up as you go. But I've done it both ways. So I'm going to find the opening of my jump ring. I don't know if you can really see that. And I'm going to put that portion down into the glue. Okay. And then I'm just going to apply a little bit more glue over that part of the jump ring, and then I'm going to make sure my jump ring is nestled in there correctly. Now you can use tweezers. This is a pretty tiny button top, or part of the button that we're attaching it to, or you can use your pliers just to kind of get that guy where you want him to go. There we go. And then we have a cute little charm, and like I said, little goes a long way. We just want to make sure it's covered where it's attached to the button. So with E6000, the longer you let it cure, the better. I'm just going to set this one aside. I already have one made, but we're going to work on that later. I'm going to give this some time to dry. We're going to repeat that on Sally and the dog. Okay. I'm going to put my paper aside, and now we're going to, while that dries, I'm going to work on my bracelet. So I already picked out the beads that I want to use from the Color Trends mix and my 3 Halloween mixes. So here are the beads from the Halloween mixes. We have my button, and then I have the 2 Jack heads from that button mix. So one is smiling and one's like smirking. So I'm going to use 3 buttons on this bracelet. I might use this little cute charm. I already attached a jump ring to it. And then these are the beads I picked out of Gatsby. I'm going with black and silver today. And then these are the beads that I picked out of my other 3 mixes. And whatever Halloween beads you have, if you only have one of the mixes, if you have all the mixes, just pick out the ones that you like best. I'm using a purple button, so you might want to incorporate some purple. You can incorporate some lime green, some red, hot pink, turquoise, whatever color you want to go with. And then I'm going to use some purple soft flex. This is what it's called, purple amethyst color. Okay. We're also going to use a crimp bead today and some black seed beads. These come in trios on Jesse James Bead's site. Now I am just going to create a pattern. I've kind of already created the pattern. As you'll see, most of these beads are in pairs, but I'm going to go up one side and then put a focal bead in the middle and then down the other. Now this bracelet is not, yeah, you know, you're saying, where are all these beads gonna go? This is gonna be a wrap bracelet. I'm really excited about it because I don't have too many of these, but this is gonna be a simpler wrap bracelet where we're just using stringing material to create the wrap instead of doing anything too fancy. So I'm gonna put a bead stopper on. And then let's push this aside and kind of create our pattern, and then we'll get started. So I chose this bead for the middle because it's kind of a very neutral bead. You can always glue a charm to the front of it. I've done that with earrings. You could glue a button to the front of it, whatever you want to do, but that's going to kind of give me my starting point. And then I'm just going to kind of build out from there, and you know, try and not group too many yellow beads or too many orange beads together, and then use some of the silver and black to space it. So we'll go starting with these crystals, and then we have our bigger round beads. These beads are so pretty. Remind me of nice disco balls. And then these black crystal rondelle spacers are just amazing. They're so sparkly, so pretty. And then I'll go into yellow. And then I think we'll go into these guys. These look so Halloweenish. It's great. Or they could work for, I think, like New Year's, but they look very Halloween to me. They definitely look like Jack Skellington approved. And then I love these little stripe beads. I'm going to put those next to them, get some orange in there. And then we'll go for some more black. I'll put a couple silver spacers. And then these 2 acrylic beads. These are definitely scream Nightmare Before Christmas to me. We have some more of these crystals, the orange ones. And then we have these acrylic beads. They look like crystals, but they're acrylic, they're plastic. Plastic beads are good for removing some of the weight too, so it won't be too heavy. And then I'm gonna put in another set of spacers. Going out of the frame here, so I'm gonna start going that way. Next, I'm going to use some of these rondelles. And then I think I'll do another set of these little guys. And then we'll go more yellow. And then I like these. More large hole beads. These are perfect for working with leather too, if you wanted to do a leather bracelet. Some more orange. And then I guess I'll put in another crystal rondelle. Work in these crystal rondelle spacers with the black instead of, so it's reversed from this one. We've got black and silver, silver on the outside instead of silver on the inside. And then I'll go with our frosted beads. And then we'll go with this guy. couple of these. We'll go into our acrylic bead again. I know I'm going off of the screen, but I'm kind of going this way so you can see what our pattern is. And it's going to be really long because you want it to go around your wrist at least twice. You can make it as long as you want, but my wrap is going to go around twice. And let's see, we'll put on these rectangles. And then you can use whatever pattern you want. I'm just kind of going, as you can see, it's coming in and then starting over again. Then I'll put on these 2 yellow frosted beads. And then I think these, and I might grab a spacer to go between those 2. So there we go. And then I am going to pick a spot within the bracelet to put our 2 buttons. We're going to just string them on like they're beads. I'm going to put one right here. Put this one right here. And then I'll put this one right right here. Yeah. And then I'm just going to string this really quickly, and I'll show you how to finish, how we're going to put the closure on this bracelet. So I have my bead stopper on, and I'm just going to load my beads on one at a time. Okay, so I have my beads strung, and as you can tell, we have my buttons on here as well. I love how glitzy and sparkly it is, and spooky with the little smirk too. He's got his little evil eyes going on, but then we have a nice one over here too. But anyway, next I'm just going to take my button, and actually I'm going to grab a crimp bead first. I have a black set, like a gunmetal set, and I'm going to put my crimp bead on, my button, and then I'm going to crimp this. Okay, and then I will make sure that my wire isn't crossed when I'm crimping. And I love how that purple, I know you don't see the bead stringing wire for much of this bracelet, but I just love how it ties in the purple from the button. I'm going to move my crimp down to my button as close as you'd like. It doesn't have to be right up against it. And then slide that crimp into the largest rung of my crimping pliers and then smoosh. Then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees and smush again and move it up and just smush one more time. Okay, so there we go. I always put a couple beads through the second wire, the wire through a couple beads, just in case I mess up later. I can crack off my crimp and not have to restring my entire project. You don't have to do that. You can just cut it off at the crimp if you'd like. So then here I am going to move my beads down, and I'll cut my tail later. And I'm going to put on my second crimp bead on this side. And move that down just for now. Get that out of the way. And I am going to dump out some black seed beads. And we're going to create a loop using seed beads to as our closure. Now, because your soft flex is so cute and it's a pretty purple, you could just use the soft flex. You don't have to use the seed beads. I could just create a loop, crimp it closed, and then make it big enough for my button to slip through, and it'd be totally fine. I just want to add a little bit of interest by putting on some seed beads. And you can, again, use whatever color you want. Yellow to tie in some of the beads, orange, silver, whatever color. I'm just using black. and I'm just going to bead up a few seed beads. I don't really know how many I'm going to use until I get there. And I've made a bracelet like this before, I think for Easter on my channel, by using a dress it up button, like an Easter egg, but that was a singular strand bracelet, and this one, while it's a singular strand, it's a double wrap. So that one on my channel was a single wrap. Oops, sorry, I'm not in screen there. And again, like I said, you can do this so many different ways. You can do it wrapping 5 times around your wrist. You could do this entire bracelet on memory wire instead of bead stringing wire. If you have a lot of memory wire, use that up. I love memory wire. I haven't actually made anything with memory wire in a while. Maybe that'll be our next project. But on my channel, I'm doing a lot of Halloween stuff this year. And Jesse James Beads made it really easy this year with the buttons and the strands that they have and these Halloween mixes. So, plus I like to keep a few in my stash, so we'll probably see them later on down the line too. Okay, I'm going to keep going until I have enough of these beads. I'm going to test. I don't think we have enough, but I'm going to test this by keeping all of the seed beads over here, grabbing my crimp bead and putting the crimp bead, or I'm sorry, the bead stringing wire tail back through the crimp bead. And we can see that this loop is nowhere big enough yet to get through that button. So I'll just keep going and I'll be back. Okay, so I have the perfect amount of seed beads, and I am just going to take the other end of my wire and stick it right back through my crimp bead, and we're just going to crimp it just like we did on the other side of the bracelet. So I am going to make sure that there aren't any gaps in my bracelet, but that it's still loose enough that it can wrap instead of just be like a flat line around my wrist. So I'm gonna kind of move everything down, starting from this side of the bracelet, and I'm gonna trim this really quickly so we can make this a little bit easier on ourselves. Make sure you only cut the tail, not the not the main wire, and then we're just gonna move everything down towards our button. But I'm still leaving it like this, like in a snake shape instead of a straight line. If we leave it in a straight line, it's just not gonna lay right on our wrist. Okay. Okay. And there we have our loop, making sure no more gaps anywhere else. And we'll crimp. You might want to make sure that this is tight while you're crimping, because if you get any slack, it's not going to work well on your button. And we're actually going to flat crimp right here because it's a little too hard to get it in there, get your regular crimp going in there without breaking any of your beads. And you can always put a crimp cover over it so you don't see it. So there we go. We have our flat crimp. I'm going to trim my wire. Okay, and I'm going to find a crimp cover. Since I don't have a black crimp cover, I'm going to go with a fancy crimp cover that'll go with the silver from Beadalon that's on the other side of the bracelet. So I have a Stardust version, but I like this like ribbed, like corrugated version. I like that. And I'll just slip that over our crimp. Just like that. Here we go. And that'll take up some room too. So here is our bracelet. I'll show it to you on me in just a second, but I wanted to show you how it looks doubled. So our buttons, I put them in the spaces I did so no buttons like hit each other. So we have this one, I can wear this as the focal, I can wear this guy as the focal or that guy as the focal, but it's so fun. It's so fun. And there's just so many different ways you can do this, and you can do it for any holiday, any set of beads, any set of buttons. It's just a lot of fun. So I'll put this on so we can wear it while I'm making my earrings. Okay, so here we go. Where's the button side, or I can move it around. And we have these buttons. I just love it. I love it. There's always something to look at. If we want a little happy jack to look at, a little crazy jack to look at, or our cute little buttons. So you could put as many as you want. You could put charms, anything, but it's just really fun, happy, and it's going to be a conversation starter for sure. So we have our dried Jack and Sally's. Aren't they super cute? Oh my gosh, they're adorable. Okay, and I pulled out just a couple beads from a couple of the mixes. And I also brought out 2 ear wires. So these beads are from the Gatsby mix. And then these beads are from our Halloween mixes. So you have a couple options here. You can use some eye pins, which are totally easy and probably faster, but I'm gonna use some 22 gauge wire. I'm just gonna cut 2 little lengths of it, and that'll allow me to situate the loops a little bit better. However, I'm not wire wrapping. Well, maybe I'll wire wrap. I haven't decided. I haven't gotten that far yet. So let's try wire wrapping. If it doesn't work, I'll just do a simple loop. I know for the second earring we're making, wire wrapping is not going to work, so that's why I said originally maybe we wouldn't do it with this one. So I'm just going to put my jack on the wire here. And we're making asymmetrical earrings, if you couldn't tell already, because we're using 2 different buttons. But I thought, you know, we can use 2 different buttons and then just different beads altogether too, but they're still coordinating because they're from the same movie, the same set. You don't always have to make earrings that are matchy-matchy. However, you know, I love my matchy-matchy, so either way. All right, so we have Jack, and I'm going to wrap that around one more time so I can get the cut to the back, the wire off in the back. I want to straighten this out a little bit. Here we go. So I'll trim that, and I'll straighten them a little bit more because it looked a little wonky. Here we go. We have our jack. And then I am going to take this bead, very colorful bead, and because he's not very colorful, right? He's just black and white, but she's super colorful. So I'm trying to bring that color over into the second earring, okay, from using this really colorful bead. Then I'm going to put on a crystal rondelle spacer. And then I'm going to put on this really cool oblong bead, enameled metal oblong bead. And then I am just going to straighten that out. Our wire's a little curved. Here we go. And I'm just going to wire wrap it. Turn it to the side. I always grab it and try wire wrapping with my hands. Sometimes the wire's too thick and I'll use my pliers, but here it's malleable enough. And this is Bead 22 gauge German style wire in gold. Okay, so before I clip that, I'm going to make sure that everything is facing the right way, and it isn't. So I want to twist this top loop to face the other way. So I'll go like this. Make sure. Might have to hold your other loop to make sure it turns. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to snip the loop off in the back, or not the loop, I'm sorry, the tail off in the back. And we're going to straighten this out a little bit because it gets a little bent here and there, and it's fine. You can just straighten it out with your fingers. There we go. And we'll put that on the ear wire in just a moment. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with Sally, but just different beads. So I'm going to create a loop. String her on. And then we're going to hold that in place while we wrap that around. Again, if you're not comfortable making wire wraps, that's totally fine. All you need is an eye pin, and you can make just a simple loop. Okay, so I'm going to try and get that to turn around one more time because we don't want the... Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to trim it in the back. We don't want that edge facing towards the front. There we go. Okay. And then I am going to put my diamond on, one of the black beads, crystal rondelle spacer, and then another crystal. Okay, so we want to make sure she's facing the right way. Isn't she so cute? Doesn't she look so happy? I love it. And then we'll wire wrap a loop on this one, put our ear wires on, and we'll be finished. But we'll have a fun, funky pair of earrings. But the thing is, you can also make these into zipper pulls. You can make them into keychains, whatever you like. I just think these with you know, these types of buttons, these things are endless, the things that you can do with them. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wire wrap this. Okay, and before we trim, we want to make sure everything's facing the right way. So our little diamond's not really facing the right way, so I'm going to twist it. And then the loop is actually facing the right way this time, so I'm going to go ahead and just straighten it up a little bit. Clip this off in the back. And then we will put our earring wires on. And then you'll have a funky, fun pair of earrings. And I challenge you to mix up as much as you can the different different beads, so you can have just a really fun, oh, I put it on backwards, a really fun mix and match pair. And then if you want 2 jacks, get 2 packs of beads, and you can make those asymmetrical, and you can switch them in and out if you want. So one day maybe you want 2 jacks, one day maybe you want 2 Sallys, or then you can just mix and match throughout the week. That would be so much fun. There's so much you can do with these for Halloween. Okay, and then we'll put this one on. I did this one backwards too. I did both of them backwards. It's too much talking, not enough attention. Okay. And then here we go. They're so super cute. This makes me really sad that I can't wear earrings, but I know somebody who would really appreciate these, so I'm going to send them to them. So, isn't that so much fun? Aren't those so cute? Gosh, That makes me sad that I can't wear them, but I know, like I said, somebody is going to really love these, and I'll send them over to her. But so we have our first pair and our first bracelet, and then we're going to make our second pair. So for the second pair of earrings, I got out this cute little triangle charm from the Gatsby mix. I got out this teardrop, a crystal rondelle spacer, bead cap, I'm sorry, not a bead cap, ear wire, 2 different sized jump rings, and I got out the, and I'm so sorry I don't remember his name, the little dog button, but I also glued on a jump ring to the back of this guy too. So I just loved the little orange pumpkin nose. Isn't that so sweet? So we're gonna echo these colors throughout the black and the black and the orange. I'm going to cut another length of the 22 gauge wire, but this time I'm not going to wire wrap down towards the puppy dog, because, and the reason why, the ghost dog, is the nose, when I was trying to wire wrap it, got in the way, and it didn't want to you know, deform my little button, because he's got a little tiny nose. So I will go ahead and make a little bend in my wire, and then I'm gonna do a loop. And I'm just gonna cut off the excess. And I am going to put my little teardrop on. My crystal rondelle spacer, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I need a little black bead to go on here as well. I got another one of these. And I'm going to wire wrap that. Okay, and before I cut that, I'm going to straighten out my loop. There we go. And maybe fix that little wrap first. There we go. There we go. Okay, there we go. I'm going to snip this in the back. And I am going to attach to our little puppy. I always call any kind of dog a puppy. Oh, I left a little bit too much of a tail on there, so I'm going to trim that. There we go. And then we'll just kind of close that up. If you want to try and wire wrap that, that's totally fine too. But it was a lot easier for me not to do that. And then I also have my larger jump ring. I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to hoop this through the button shank. Close that up as best I can. And then take my smaller jump ring, put it through my charm, and put that charm through my jump ring. Now, you can absolutely make these a little less flashy by eliminating either the point or the orange beads, or the orange bead, you know, drop at the top. But I was going for statement earrings here, in both sets. So let me go ahead and put this on my ear wire. I didn't do that one backwards. close that up. And isn't this the cutest earring you've ever seen in your life? It is to me, for today at least. But I just love it. It makes that and I can't remember his name. Somebody hopefully has put in the comments what it is, but just makes me so happy. It reminds me of Goldie, my little chihuahua. So they're so cute. I might have to make an exception and wear these for Halloween. I don't think I can give these away. So anyway, thank you so much for watching today. Thanks to Jesse James Beads and Dress It Up Buttons for the opportunity to show you how to make these items. And then the website for Dress It Up is dressidupshop.com. So thank you so much for watching. I hope each and every one of you has a happy Halloween and have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.